Myra sat by herself at the edge of the long table in the academy dining hall. She kept her eyes down, staring at her lunch. It was a small meal from her home planet, and its strange colors and smells set her apart from everyone else. Human students passed her table without looking at her. Even some of the other alien students did not speak to her. Every day was the same. Myra always chose the end seat, far from the noisy groups of students laughing and talking together. Myra looked different from everyone else at the academy. Her skin was pale blue, and her eyes were large and golden. Her hair was a silvery color, thin and shining like moonlight. She was smaller than most students. Her hands had long, slim fingers. Some people said her face was too sharp or her voice was too quiet. Myra knew she was strange to them, and so she tried not to make eye contact. She ate her food slowly and quietly, hoping nobody would notice her. The academy was a special place where young people from many planets came to learn together. The teachers said it was to build peace and understanding between worlds. Myra had come here with hope, but she soon found that it was not easy to fit in. When she tried to say hello to a group of human students on her first day, they looked away or walked past her. Other aliens had their own groups and did not invite her to join. She heard whispers when she walked through the halls. Sometimes, students would giggle and point when she dropped her books or made a mistake in class. Myra missed her home. She missed her mother's warm hugs and her father's stories. She missed the blue grass that grew on her planet and the sound of the soft winds at night. Her parents had sent her here hoping she would have a better life, but Myra wondered if they had made a mistake. She tried to keep her sadness inside and told herself that maybe things would get better. One afternoon, something unusual happened. The doors of the dining hall opened and a new student walked in. He was a human boy with short brown hair and bright eyes. He looked around, holding a tray in his hands. He seemed a little nervous, not sure where to sit. The tables were mostly full, except for the one where Myra sat alone. The boy's name was Ethan. It was his first day at the academy. He had just moved from Earth with his family. Everything felt strange to him. The food looked different, and the people around him spoke with many accents. He wanted to find a friendly face, but he only saw groups of students who already knew each other. Ethan walked slowly through the rows of tables. He noticed that one end was empty except for a quiet alien girl. She was looking down, not meeting anyone's eyes. Ethan remembered what it felt like to be the new kid. He took a deep breath and decided to sit at the empty spot beside her. The room became quiet for a moment. A few students looked over, surprised. Myra looked up, shocked to see someone sitting beside her. She had grown used to being alone. For a second, she thought Ethan must have made a mistake. Maybe he had not seen her. Ethan smiled at Myra. "Hi," he said in a gentle voice. "Do you mind if I sit here?" Myra shook her head. She felt nervous. Her hands trembled a little. "You can sit here," she said softly. Ethan placed his tray on the table and sat down. He looked at Myra's lunch and smiled. "That looks interesting." "Is it good?" Myra was not sure what to say. Most students made fun of her food, but Ethan sounded honest. "It is from my home," she answered. "It is made from something called celery roots. They taste sweet." Ethan nodded. "Cool, I'm Ethan. I just got here today." "I've never tried food like that before." Myra gave a small smile. "My name is Myra." Ethan tried to make her feel comfortable. He talked about how his first day was strange and how he missed his home on Earth. Myra listened quietly. She felt a little better. It was the first time. Someone at the academy had tried to talk to her in a friendly way. Students nearby watched Ethan and Myra. Some whispered to each other. Others looked surprised or even annoyed. Myra tried to ignore them, but she could still hear a few giggles. And see people pointing. Ethan noticed but did not care. He kept talking to Myra. He told her about his family, about his favorite foods on Earth, and about his old school. Myra started to relax. She told him about her home, about the music her mother played, and the games she used to play under the blue sun. By the end of lunch, Myra felt lighter. She almost forgot that she was supposed to be invisible. When the bell rang, Ethan stood up and smiled at her. "See you tomorrow?" he asked. Myra nodded. She did not want to hope too much, but something in Ethan's voice made her believe that he really would come back. After Ethan left, Myra sat at the table for a few minutes. She looked at her hands and smiled to herself. For the first time since she arrived at the academy, she felt like she was not alone. That night, Myra looked out the window in her small room. She watched the stars and thought about her day. She remembered Ethan's smile and his kind words. She whispered softly, "Maybe tomorrow will be better." The next morning, Myra walked into the dining hall. She felt nervous again, but this time, she looked around for Ethan. Some students gave her cold looks or ignored her, but she kept walking. She sat at the end of the table, just like before. A few minutes later, Ethan came into the room. He saw Myra and waved. He walked past the other students and sat beside her. This time, he did not ask if he could sit. He just smiled and said, "Good morning, Myra." Myra felt something warm inside her. She smiled back. "Good morning, Ethan." As they ate together, Myra felt the stares and whispers around them. She noticed some students frowning and a few even laughed. Ethan did not pay attention to any of it. He talked about his favorite music and asked Myra about the games from her world. Myra answered with more confidence this time. Soon, Myra began to look forward to lunchtime. She liked talking to Ethan. She liked listening to his stories. About Earth, she shared more about her own life too. Each day, their friendship grew stronger. They laughed together even when other students tried to make them feel different. Some students did not like that Ethan spent time with Myra. They whispered behind his back and made rude comments. Ethan did not let it bother him. He told Myra that people are afraid of what they do not know. He said it was brave to be different. Myra had never heard that before. As the days passed, Myra's world became brighter. She still felt sad sometimes, but now she had someone to talk to. Ethan made her feel like she mattered. One day, as they finished their meal, Myra whispered to Ethan, "You're my first friend." Ethan smiled. He said, "I'm glad. You're my friend too." For the first time since coming to the academy, Myra believed she could belong. She was still different, but now she was not alone. Ethan and Myra kept meeting every day at lunch. People still watched them, but Ethan did not seem to care. Each day, he greeted Myra with a friendly smile. Myra felt less nervous as time went on. She began to wait for Ethan. His presence made her feel safer at the academy. Sometimes they sat in silence. Sometimes they talked about their worlds and their lives. Ethan never asked Myra to change or be someone else. He listened and let her speak when she was ready. Other students still avoided Myra. When Ethan walked into the dining hall, a group of boys would laugh and whisper to each other. One day, as Ethan was getting his lunch, a girl named Lily stopped him. She was popular among the human students. She looked at Ethan and shook her head. "Why do you sit with that alien girl? She's weird," Lily said. Ethan frowned. He told Lily that Myra was his friend and he liked talking to her. Lily just rolled her eyes and walked away. Ethan did not let her words bother him. He picked up his tray and sat with Myra as usual. Myra noticed what happened. She looked at Ethan and spoke quietly. "You do not have to sit with me." "People do not like it." Ethan smiled at her. "I don't care what they think," he said. "You're my friend. That's what matters." Myra did not answer, but she smiled and felt a little stronger. As the days passed, Ethan and Myra started working together on class projects. They helped each other with homework. Myra was very smart, and she was good at math and science. Ethan was good at coming up with ideas and speaking in front of the class. They made a good team. When they presented their first project together, the teacher praised their work. Some students looked surprised. They were not used to seeing Myra succeed. During their free time, Ethan and Myra liked to walk in the academy gardens. The gardens had plants from many worlds. Myra liked to show Ethan the flowers that looked like the ones from her planet. Ethan told Myra about earth trees and rivers. They would sit by the pond and watch small alien fish swim under the water. Myra told Ethan about the bluegrass on her home planet and the soft glow of the moons at night. Ethan shared his stories about Earth. He talked about his little sister and the family dog he missed. He showed Myra pictures of snow, which she had never seen before. Myra was amazed. She asked him questions about everything. She was curious about humans and their ways. Ethan was happy to answer. He liked that Myra listened to him. She did not judge him, even when he made mistakes with alien words or got confused by the Academy's rules. Sometimes, Myra told Ethan about her life before coming to the Academy. She had been lonely there too. On her home planet, her people did not think she was strong enough or fast enough. They thought she was weak because she liked to read and think instead of fighting and competing. Her family loved her, but most others ignored her. They sent her to the Academy, hoping she would find a place where she belonged. Myra told Ethan she was scared when she first arrived, and how she still missed her home every night. Ethan listened closely. He told her that he also missed home. Even though he was human, he sometimes felt lost at the Academy. He did not always understand the other students. He missed his friends from Earth and sometimes wished he could go back. Hearing this made Myra feel closer to him. She realized they were both outsiders in their own way. One afternoon, as they walked in the gardens, they passed a group of older students. The students watched them and whispered. One of the boys spoke loudly, making sure Myra could hear. "Look, it's the strange alien and her human friend. Maybe he wants to become an alien too." Ethan stopped and faced the boy. "She is not strange. She is smart and kind. You should try talking to her instead of making fun of people you do not know." The boy rolled his eyes and turned away. Myra was quiet, but Ethan's words made her feel proud. Later that day, Myra whispered to Ethan, "Thank you for standing up for me." Ethan shrugged. "That's what friends do." Myra started to feel braver. She spoke up more in class, especially when Ethan was in the room. Some teachers noticed and asked her more questions. She started to do better in her lessons. A few students watched her with new eyes, but most still kept their distance. It was hard to change people's minds. One evening, as Myra sat in her room, she remembered a story from her home. It was about a small flower that grew on a rocky mountain. The flower was different from the others, but it survived because it reached for the sun and did not give up. Myra thought about that flower and realized she wanted to be like it. She did not want to hide anymore. Ethan and Myra continued to meet every day. Myra showed Ethan how to write in her language. Ethan taught her simple Earth songs. They laughed when their words came out wrong. Sometimes they just sat quietly, feeling happy to be together. One day, their teacher gave the class a big project. Students had to work in pairs. Many students chose their friends, but Ethan and Myra chose each other. The project was about how different worlds could work together. Myra had many ideas. Ethan helped organize them. Together they built a small model showing how plants from one planet could help clean water on another. Their project was simple, but it showed how people from different places could help each other. When it was time to present, Ethan spoke first. He explained their idea and then let Myra talk about her planet's plants. Myra spoke clearly, even though her voice shook a little. The class listened. Some students looked interested. When they finished, the teacher smiled and said, "Well, done. You worked well together?" Myra's heart felt full. After class, a boy named Ben came over to them. He was quiet and did not have many friends. He said, "Your project was cool. How did you make the model?" Myra smiled and explained. Ethan invited Ben to join them next time. It was the first time another student had talked kindly to Myra. That evening, as Myra walked back to her room, she thought about how things were changing. She still had fears, but now she had hope too. She looked at the stars outside her window and remembered what she had whispered to Ethan. "You're my first friend." Now, maybe she could have even more friends, but not everything was easy. The next day, some students were angry about Myra's growing confidence. A few of them decided to play a trick on her. At lunch, they switched her food with something unpleasant. Myra tasted it and made a face. The group laughed loudly. Ethan saw what happened. He stood up and spoke to them. "That's not funny." Ethan said, "If you want to make a joke, Do it to me, not her. The group grew quiet. Some looked ashamed. Others just ignored him. Myra was upset, but Ethan put his arm around her shoulders. Let's go eat outside today, he said. Myra nodded, feeling grateful. They sat under a tree in the garden and shared Ethan's lunch. Myra tried to forget the mean trick. She told herself that as long as Ethan was her friend, she would be okay. Myra started to notice small changes around her. Some students were curious about her. A girl from another alien group smiled at her in the hall. Ben waved to her during class. It was slow, but things were getting better. That night, Myra wrote a message to her parents. She told them about her new friend Ethan. She wrote about the hard times, but also about her hope. She wrote, I am not alone anymore. I have a friend who stands by me. Maybe I can find more friends. Maybe I can belong here, Myra smiled as she sent the message. She looked at the stars and wondered what tomorrow would bring. She was ready to face it as long as she had a friend like Ethan by her side. Myra and Ethan kept spending time together, and each day brought something new. Even if some students were still unkind, Myra tried to focus on the good moments. She woke up every morning feeling hopeful that things would be better. When Ethan greeted her in the dining hall, Myra smiled brightly. She looked forward to their time together. The academy did not feel so big and lonely anymore. One morning, the sky outside the academy turned dark. Clouds from a nearby planet drifted in, making the day feel strange. The air was heavy and teachers looked worried. In class, everyone was restless. Myra noticed that the lights flickered more than usual. The teachers told students not to worry and to stay inside, but something did not feel right. After class, Myra and Ethan met in the garden. They sat under their favorite tree. Ethan looked at the sky. I've never seen clouds like that, he said. Myra nodded and said her planet had storms like this. It is best to be careful, she said softly. Just then, an alarm sounded through the academy halls. The sound was loud and urgent. Teachers quickly gathered the students and told them to go back inside. Everyone hurried, but the power flickered again and the lights went out. The teachers shouted instructions, but many students were confused and scared. Myra felt a chill in her stomach. She held Ethan's hand as they moved through the halls. The academy's main systems had stopped working. Air filters, lights, and even the doors to the outside were not working. A group of teachers tried to use the backup controls, but nothing happened. Ethan looked around. He saw a teacher named Mr. Carter talking to another teacher in a worried voice. We cannot restart the systems, Mr. Carter said. If we do not fix this, the air will run out. The teachers tried to keep the students calm, but fear was spreading. Myra remembered something she had read in the academy library. Her people had once used a special system to restart broken air filters. She wanted to help, but she was afraid. No one would listen to her. Myra looked at Ethan. He saw the worry on her face. Myra, what is it? Ethan asked. Myra explained what she knew. She told Ethan that she might be able to help fix the system. Ethan listened carefully and did not doubt her. You have to tell the teachers, he said. Myra shook her head. They will not listen to me. I am just a student. They do not think I am important. Ethan took her hand and said, You saved me when I was new. Now you can save everyone here. I will go with you. Together they walked up to Mr. Carter. Ethan spoke clearly. Sir, Myra knows how to fix the air system. She read about a way to restart it. Please, let her try. Mr. Carter looked unsure. He did not know Myra well and had never heard her speak up in class before. Are you sure you can do this? He asked. Myra nodded, though her voice was small. I think I can help. My people had problems like this before. I know what to do. The teachers did not have many choices. They led Myra and Ethan to the control room. The room was dark, filled with flashing lights and warning sounds. Myra felt her hands shake, but Ethan stood beside her. He whispered, You can do this. Myra looked at the controls. She remembered the steps from her reading. With careful hands, she pressed buttons and spoke instructions to the teachers. She asked for special tools and worked with wires and connectors. The room was silent as everyone watched. At first, nothing happened. Then, slowly, the lights started to come back. The air system began to hum. The warning sounds faded. Teachers and students cheered. Myra had fixed the system. She saved everyone from running out of air for the first time. Students clapped for Myra. Teachers thanked her, and some students looked at her with new respect. Myra felt tired but happy. Ethan hugged her and said, "I knew you could do it." The next day, Myra noticed more students smiling at her in the halls. A girl named Ava stopped to talk to her and asked how she had fixed the air system. Myra explained, and Ava listened carefully. Soon, more students joined their conversation. Myra was not invisible anymore. In class, teachers began to ask Myra for her opinion. They knew she was smart and had ideas worth sharing. Myra found it easier to speak up. She started helping other students with their lessons. She liked answering questions and showing how things worked. For the first time, she felt like she belonged, but Myra still remembered what it felt like to be alone. She noticed a younger student sitting by herself in the corner of the dining hall. Myra walked over and smiled at her. "Would you like to join us?" she asked. The younger student nodded, and soon the three of them were eating together. Myra knew how much a small act of kindness could mean. Ethan was proud of Myra. He watched as she grew more confident each day. Sometimes he teased her and said she was becoming famous. Myra would laugh and say she was just being herself. One day, the Academy announced a special event. Students from different planets were invited to share something about their culture. Myra was nervous, but Ethan said he would help her. Together, they planned a small presentation about Myra's home planet. They made a display of blue grass and painted a picture of the moons. When the day of the event came, Myra stood on the stage with Ethan beside her. She talked about her family, the songs they sang, and the food they ate. Ethan played a simple tune on a small earth instrument, and Myra sang softly. The students and teachers listened. After the presentation, people clapped and asked questions. Myra felt proud. She was not the same lonely girl she had been before. After the event, a group of students invited Myra and Ethan to join them for a study group. Myra agreed. She was making more friends now. She still missed her family and her home, but she was not alone anymore. That evening, Myra sat with Ethan under their favorite tree. She looked at the stars and smiled. "Thank you for believing in me," she said. Ethan smiled back. "You taught me to be brave too," he replied. Myra looked around at the academy. She knew she still had hard days ahead, but she was stronger now. She was not afraid to speak up or to try new things. She had friends who cared about her, and she wanted to help others feel welcome too. From that day on, Myra promised herself to always be kind to those who felt alone. She would remember how much a friend could change someone's life. With Ethan by her side, she felt ready to face anything that came her way. After the cultural event at the academy, more students began to notice Myra in a good way. Some came to her with questions about her planet, and others just wanted to say hello. Myra smiled and tried her best to talk with everyone, even though she still felt nervous at times. Ethan always stood nearby, ready to help if she needed him. Myra's world had grown bigger. She started to feel that the academy was not such a lonely place anymore. One day, a teacher named Ms. Brooks called Myra and Ethan to her office. She was one of the oldest teachers at the academy and had seen many students from different worlds. Ms. Brooks smiled kindly. "You two have started something important," she said. "I see more students sitting together at lunch now. They are not just with their own groups." "You helped make that happen," Ethan felt proud. Myra was surprised but happy. Ms. Brooks asked if they would like to help plan another event, something that would bring students from all backgrounds together. Myra agreed at once. She liked the idea of helping others feel welcome. Myra and Ethan met with teachers and a few students from different planets. They talked about what kind of event to have. Some students wanted to share their favorite games. Others wanted to cook food from home or teach songs from their worlds. Myra suggested a festival with music, stories, and games from all planets. Everyone liked her idea, and soon planning began. The weeks leading up to the festival were busy. Myra worked hard, helping students practice dances and make decorations. Ethan helped organize the schedule and made sure every group had time to share their culture. At night, Myra often felt tired, but she was happy. She thought of her parents and hoped they would be proud of her as the festival day arrived. The academy was decorated with bright banners and glowing lights. Each table in the hall had foods and small gifts from different planets. Myra wore a dress from her homeworld, made of soft, shiny cloth. She felt proud of her heritage for the first time since coming to the academy. Ethan wore a simple shirt with the flag of Earth on his sleeve. The festival started with music. Myra sang a song from her planet, and Ethan played along on his instrument. Students from every world danced or clapped to the rhythm. After the music, there were games. Myra taught students a simple game from her home, and Ethan joined in. Students laughed and cheered. For once, no one cared who was from what planet. During the meal, students went from table to table, tasting new foods and asking questions. Myra tried Earth foods for the first time. She liked bread with butter and sweet fruit from Earth. Ethan tried blue fruit from Myra's planet and said it tasted like sunshine and water. They laughed together, happy to be sharing the day. After lunch, there was a story time. Myra told a story about a hero from her home who had been lonely but found strength and kindness. Ethan told a story about his grandfather and a time he helped a stranger. Other students shared stories too, and everyone listened closely. Myra realized that every world had stories of hope and courage. As the festival went on, Myra saw faces she had never seen before. Students who had always stayed with their own groups were now talking to each other and laughing together. Ben, who used to be very quiet, showed Myra a card trick he had learned from a friend. Lily, the popular girl who once avoided Myra, came over and said she liked Myra's singing. Myra thanked her and smiled, feeling shy but happy. When the festival ended, Miss Brooks stood up and thanked everyone. "This is what our academy should be," she said. "We are stronger when we learn from each other. I hope this is just the beginning." The students clapped and cheered. After the festival, things started to change at the academy. People from different planets sat together more often. Some students started new clubs for music, art, and cooking. Myra joined a new club for science, where she met students who were also curious and kind. She even made a few new friends who asked her to teach them about her world. Ethan noticed that Myra's circle of friends was growing. He was happy for her. He knew it was not easy to be brave, but Myra had shown everyone that kindness could change things. Sometimes, when they sat together in the garden, Ethan would remind Myra how far she had come. Myra thanked him every time. "You were my first friend," she always said. "You made it possible for me to try." There were still a few students who did not join in or who held on to their old ways. Sometimes Myra saw them watching from a distance, not sure if they wanted to change. Myra tried to be patient. She knew that not everyone would understand right away. She kept being kind, hoping that one day they would join in too. One afternoon, after science club, a girl named Zoe stopped Myra in the hall. Zoe was new and looked nervous. "How did you make friends here?" she asked quietly. Myra remembered her own first days. She smiled and said, "I was scared too, but I met someone who was kind to me. It helped a lot." Myra invited Zoe to join her for lunch the next day. Zoe smiled, and for the first time she looked less alone. Ethan saw Myra talking with Zoe and smiled. He saw that Myra was now the one helping others find their place. He felt proud to be her friend. That evening they sat under their favorite tree and watched the stars come out. Myra told Ethan she was glad she did not give up. Ethan nodded and said, "You are helping more people than you know." As the weeks went on, the academy became a warmer place. Myra found herself laughing more. She looked forward to her classes and club meetings. She sent messages to her family, telling them about her friends and her new life. Myra's parents wrote back and said they were proud of her. They said she was brave for being herself and for helping others. Myra felt happy to hear those words. Even on hard days when she felt tired or missed home, Myra remembered what Ethan told her. Being different is not a bad thing. It can be your strength. Myra kept those words close to her heart. She was not afraid to show who she was anymore. Myra and Ethan's friendship grew even stronger. Sometimes they studied together, and sometimes they just sat quietly in the garden, sharing simple moments. Myra felt safe with Ethan. She knew he would always stand by her. She promised herself that she would do the same for him and for anyone else who needed a friend. Myra woke up early one morning, feeling peaceful as she watched the soft light shine through her window. The academy was quiet. She listened to the gentle hum of the machines that kept the place running. Today she did not feel lonely. She thought about her first days at the academy, sitting alone at the edge of the table, wishing someone would talk to her. So much had changed since then. Now Myra had friends. She felt she belonged. Myra dressed and went to the dining hall. She saw groups of students from many worlds sitting together, laughing and sharing food. Ben waved at her from across the room. Lily smiled and gave a little wave too. Myra smiled back and felt proud. She remembered how hard it was to be different. At first, but now, difference was something good at the academy. People liked learning about each other. Myra was part of that change. Ethan joined her at their usual spot. He put his tray on the table and sat beside her. "Good morning, Myra," he said. "Did you sleep well?" "Yes," Myra answered. "I had a dream that we were flying through the stars and I was not afraid of anything." Ethan laughed. "Maybe one day we will fly to your home planet together." They ate breakfast, talking about their plans for the day. Myra was going to meet with her science club, and Ethan had to help set up for a school play. They promised to meet in the garden after their lessons. Myra liked having plans with friends. It made her feel happy and safe. After breakfast, Myra went to her science club. She sat with students from other worlds, and together they worked on a new project. Myra taught the others about the plants from her planet that could clean water. Ben listened closely and asked good questions. Zoe, the new girl, was there too. She was shy but smiled more now. Myra liked seeing her become more confident. Later, Myra walked through the academy halls and noticed students helping each other. She saw a boy who once teased her helping a younger student carry books. She heard laughter coming from the music room, where students from different planets played music together. Myra felt proud. She knew these changes did not happen overnight, but each small act of kindness had helped make the academy better. In the afternoon, Myra met Ethan in the garden. They sat under their favorite tree. The sky was bright and clear. Myra watched birds from different worlds flying together. Ethan told Myra about the school play. He said he was nervous about going on stage, but Myra encouraged him. "You will do great," she said. "Just be yourself. That is what you told me when I was scared." Ethan smiled and looked grateful. He said he could not have come this far without Myra. "You showed me how important it is to be a real friend," he said. Myra felt warm inside. She remembered the day she first whispered to Ethan, "You're my first friend." It was true then, and now it was true for many others too. The days passed quickly. The academy planned another festival, and this time Myra was one of the leaders. She helped. Students organized their booths and worked with teachers to set up decorations. She was busy but enjoyed every moment. Ethan helped her, and together they made sure everyone was included. Myra made a special dish from her planet to share with everyone. It was sweet and blue, and many students tried it for the first time. At the festival, Myra watched students play games, eat food, and listen to music from all over the galaxy. She remembered how quiet the academy used to be and how many students felt alone, just like she once did. Now, there was laughter and joy everywhere. Even the teachers seemed happier. Ms. Brooks told Myra she was proud of her. "You helped bring us all together," she said. Myra smiled and thanked her. That night, after the festival, Myra sat with Ethan on the grass. They watched the stars above the academy. Myra felt peaceful. "I used to wish I could go home," she said. "But now, I think I have found a new home here." Ethan nodded. "Home is where people care about you," he said. "You made this place better for everyone." Myra thought about her parents and sent them a message. She told them about the festival, her friends, and the things she had learned. She wrote, "I am happy here now. I am not alone. I have friends who care about me, and I try to help others who feel left out." Thank you for giving me the chance to come here. A few days later, Myra received a reply. Her parents said they were proud and glad she found a place where she belonged. They hoped to visit the academy one day. Myra read their message over and over, feeling happy every time. As time passed, Myra and Ethan grew even closer. They helped each other through hard days and shared their dreams for the future. Sometimes they still faced challenges. There were days when Myra missed home or worried about new problems, but she knew she was not alone. Ethan always stood by her, and now many others did too. One day the academy held a special assembly. The head teacher spoke about the changes at the school. This year, our students learned the power of kindness and friendship. We saw how one act of reaching out can change many lives. We are proud of all of you for making this academy a better place. After the assembly, Ethan turned to Myra and said, "Remember when you thought you were worthless? Look at all you have done." Myra smiled, her eyes shining with happy tears. "It all started when you sat beside me," she whispered. "You were my first friend. I will never forget that." Ethan squeezed her hand gently, "And I will never forget you." The rest of the school year passed with more good days than bad. Myra continued to help others and made sure nobody felt left out. She remembered how hard it was at the beginning and wanted to make it easier for the next new student who came through the academy doors. Myra, Ethan, and their friends promised to keep working together, no matter where they went in the future. They knew life would bring new challenges, but they also knew the power of kindness. Myra looked up at the stars and felt strong. She had come a long way from being the lonely girl at the edge of the table. She was not worthless. She was a friend, a leader, and someone who could bring people together. As the academy lights glowed under the night sky, Myra closed her eyes and wished for every lonely student to find a friend like she did. She whispered softly, "Thank you, Ethan." In her heart, she knew that even one small act of kindness could change the world.